and tell me if there's, A-okay, or if there's anything you would want to add, okay? So
Okay.
Joan's memories of growing up in town, and then you'll see the pictures too. So Joan Marie Pick, house in town, 407 East Fifth Street, Remsen, Iowa, 51050, from October 1946 to April 1960. And those are the years Mom says you guys were in that house. Well, you were born in 47, so you weren't in the house until you were born, obviously.
46.
You were born in 46, so you were. So were you born in Pocahontas?
Yeah, I was born in Fort Dodge, but Pocahontas was where we lived.
So you three all lived there, and everybody else was born after they moved into the house.
Right.
Okay. Okay, so I'm
I
gonna
know.
start reading what I took what you wrote. I just edited a little bit and moved things around. So here's what the story that people have read. My first memory from childhood is learning how to tie my shoes. I don't remember who taught me, but I do remember that I was 4 years old. Mom and Dad told me what a good job I did. I had brown and white saddle shoes that I really liked. When I was 4, maybe 5 years old, I wanted to iron my doll's little dress. I ended up burning my whole arm. It hurt for days and days. Mom and Dad took care of my burn. I still have a scar today, but it's much smaller now.
Yeah.
And then can you see this picture? This is you and Roger Harnick.
I know I have the big picture with my stuff, and we're holding hands, aren't we?
You are, and Mom said you would have been about the same age at that time because the wedding was February of 52. So it would have been about the same time as the iron incident.
So that was when I was 5.5 years old.
Yep. So you probably have the scar on your arm because it probably happened a little bit before that.
You know what? I still can see it, but not hardly.
Oh, yeah.
So
Isn't it
bigger arm
funny?
now.
And then, of course, Grandma and Grandpa, I bet they were just all over that.
Yeah.
The nurse and the doctor.
Well, see, the ironing board was out with the iron on.
You're lucky you didn't get hurt more.
Yeah. Boy, did that hurt. It hurt for a long time. But yeah, that was something else.
The next part is, on our birthday, we were treated with pop, whatever kind we wanted. My favorite was orange. Mary liked cream soda, and David liked orange too. Someone would choose root beer. We had a lot of pop between June 3rd and July 9th. And then I put as a side note, oldest 3 Pick kids have 6-3, 7-3, and 7-9 birthdays.
Good.
We never, that way people understand that you guys, you 3 were really close.
Yeah.
We never bought our birthday cakes. Mom made them for us. Mom would make lamb cakes for Easter, but one year Mary got one for her birthday. I remember a cake with a big candle for Connie's first birthday. We each got one thing for Christmas, but what we got was very nice. Always very good quality. And then Mom has a photo of the lamb cake for her birthday in 1952 that Grandma had made.
I can't see the lamb.
You know, Mom must know. I don't know how to enlarge this. It's in this photo. All I can tell, I don't even know if I could tell this was a cake. Can you?
No, it looks like lumps of something.
Yeah, but Mom it must have had a note on the back that it was the lamb cake.
Yeah, must have. But it's hard to see. I have the larger picture of it, and I still can't see it.
Where was the picture taken? Can you tell? Do you recognize the window?
It looked like maybe it was in our house because of the curtains. I don't know exactly.
And the curtains look familiar?
They look a little familiar, but the ones maybe in the bedrooms. I'm not sure because, see, I can't remember a lot of what happened when I was a kid and stuff anymore.
This was 10 years ago. I think this was dated when mom wrote all this down. When you two sat down and she wrote it all down. I thought it was maybe it was one of the times she was back with me. It could have been 12 years ago. Maybe it was 2010.
That's really good she did that, wasn't it?
Yeah. I tell you what, she's quite the historian. Okay, the
She
next
really,
part is about desserts too. There were these pastries that we liked from Bob's Market, and David told me to ask for cow pies when I was sent to buy some. Whoever waited on me would laugh, but that's exactly what they looked like.
what else should I say?
Mom made desserts for Dad as often as she could. He had a dessert when he came home at noon and at supper time. The only time he didn't have dessert was for breakfast. Mom always had a dessert of some kind on hand and always served with ice cream. That's about all Dad really liked. He would eat everything else because he wanted to make sure we ate everything too. Otherwise, we probably would have eaten only desserts too. He always told Mom he couldn't eat stuff like green peppers, but she'd put it in her dishes anyway because she didn't believe him. Same with onions. I think they actually bothered Dad's stomach. Do you remember
Yeah.
that?
Yes, I do. I do.
Would she chop the green peppers up so he wouldn't know, or would she just tell him to eat it?
I think most of the time it was served and he just didn't, he just ate it, you know?
Mhm. It was so nice when we were little because okay. It was so nice when we were little because all we had to do was go to the grocery store, charge it, dime store, charge it, shafts, charge it. Charging was how we did things back then. And I remember that was even me, because when I was in the farm years, we were still charging and they would send me to the grocery store and I could charge it and sign for it.
Hey, wasn't that nice?
Oh my gosh. It was like, I loved it. That's how I was introduced to processed food because they all look so good. So I got like the squeezed cheese and the Ritz crackers and things that we couldn't get at home. And grandma and grandpa
Yeah,
didn't care. I never got in trouble for buying crap.
that was good.
The Fuller brush man came by a lot, and the Watkins lady. That's who we bought the box cake mixes from, and how Mom, Mary, and I started making box cakes. I was about 7 years old when I started making cakes. Now, do you remember the box cakes?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, you know what Mary did one time?
What?
She opened the oven door and she sat Kathy on the oven door and it was hot.
What?
She did that accidentally.
But I mean, how did Kathy end up okay?
I don't know if it was Kathy or yeah, she ended up okay.
Wow. Oh my
Isn't
gosh. Between
yeah,
that and the iron, you guys are lucky. But I think we all have those lucky moments in our childhood of
I
things that
think
could have gone really bad.
yeah.
We took our bikes to get groceries. I didn't do it very often because one time I fell and the eggs broke and I cried. But we had a lot of fun in town. I didn't like school, but I loved being at home with my brothers and sisters. I hardly ever looked at my school books, but I loved to read. I liked to go in the closet, be by myself, and just daydream.
Yeah. Yeah, I did. I did. I dreamt, I thought, I visualized that I was dancing and stuff like that. And
And would you read books too?
I read books and I'd read them and I was supposed to be helping Mary. And I'd lock the door
To keep
to the
her
bed.
out. And
Yeah.
would she find you?
Yes, she would. And I said, I'll be out.
That is too funny. And then you didn't like, was the thing about school, you liked the reading part, but was it when you went to nursing school and it was something that you enjoyed, that you liked the school better than the generic stuff?
Um,
Like, what was
I,
it about school that you didn't love? The
I
school?
didn't be talking when they asked questions because I just wasn't sure I'd be saying the right thing, you know.
Right,
So when
right.
I was in geometry,
Mm-hmm.
I this nun asked a question and I answered it, and um, she said, "No, that isn't right." But the next day that I was in the class, she said, "Joan, you were right.
She
You
came
were
back
right."
and said that.
Yeah, she did.
Wow,
Maybe I should say that something like that, huh?
that's something. And who was the
I,
teacher? Do you remember that?
oh,
Was it
crud.
a nun?
Yes, it was a nun. Uh, Mary knows, and Mary would remember.
Okay, I'll ask mom because she would have had the same teacher. Were you mom and David all one year school year after the other? So all three were in high school together?
Yeah,
And then was there ever a time that four, like was there anybody one grade behind you? Or was
one
Barbara,
and a one and a half for
wait, Connie
Barbara.
was next, or Barbara was next. Okay. One and
Barbara
a
was
half.
and Connie, I think, or when is Rich? Rich was pretty young.
He was in between, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so this is funny. I think I was in fifth grade. Not funny, but we're talking about clothes. I think I was in fifth grade when the girls at St. Mary's started to wear uniforms to school. I never knew that they didn't. There was a time they didn't wear uniforms.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. We liked
Mhm.
them. Mom made sure we had nice clothes. There weren't many of them, but they were very well made, and she got them from good stores, and the clothes would last. We shopped
Oh,
at Constantine's and Lamar's, and mom ordered
yeah,
clothes from one of the traveling salesmen, Margaret Kurtenacker from Alton.
yeah. And that's what Mary and I looked it up, and it's Margaret Curtin. That's the right name and everything.
And so did you get most of your clothes from the traveling salesman, or did you get most of your clothes from the store, or did you make them?
Well, I don't think we made them. Mary did. Oh yeah, Mary. They had hand-me-downs, and like Connie and whoever could fit into the clothes got them when they were older. You know, the younger ones got it when
So
the older finished with it. What do you call that?
hand-me-downs, right?
Hand me down. And
So
they were,
was mom the one who just liked to sew? Is that why she sewed her clothes? It wasn't something everybody did?
yeah, she made Connie's coat, which was pink, and she turned it inside out and made it for Kathy for her size and everything.
Wow.
That's what Kathy said.
There's a couple of the old videos, the videos that grandma took that like Connie and Barbara have on clothes that mom's like, oh, that's the dress that I made when I was a senior. And then now Connie has it, or now Barbara has it. So she
Oh,
picked out clothes that she had made that some of the other sisters were wearing.
well, that's nice because I can't remember that for some reason. But I know she loves sewing.
Who else loves sewing, or was mom the main one?
Well, yeah, mom liked to do about a little bit of everything, didn't she?
Mhm.
She did a lot of everything,
Mhm.
didn't she? She liked it. She was a person that would just enjoy doing something new.
Like what
You
I
should,
remember
I
with,
should put that in there. Maybe I should put that in there.
okay,
But
I
I,
like that. Because grandma always, she liked to make dolls and toys and gifts and something unusual. She liked trying different things.
yeah, she showed us you can do anything you want if you do it, you know, if you have the instructions, if you can do things. So that's what and dad too.
So was it grandma's influence that made you want to be a nurse? How did grandma impact you
We
wanting to be a
talked,
nurse?
we talked about it because I didn't know what I wanted to do. And mom said, well, you could be a nurse. And so I did. I did it. So
I bet she always liked that though, because she loved being a nurse. She didn't practice for very long, but
yeah, she loved it.
she, every time it sounds like she loved it. So you were the one, because did anybody else go into healthcare of the kids at all? I don't think so, right?
No, nobody else went for health care. But we have a lot of nurses that got married and we've got Liz, who is one of the grandchildren.
Mhm.
And
And
who
Aunt
else?
Rebecca,
Anybody else? There's Anne, and then there's Rebecca,
Becca,
and let's see, Anne, Rebecca, and
Liz.
and I can't think of another one.
I
No,
can't think of another one either. Okay,
if it
so
is,
I'll keep, the good thing we're recording this because then I can go back and I'll pick these things up. So next one is Florence Ufferman, the beautician, gave us permanence with the machine that we got hooked up to. When Bernice and Leroy Trinan built their house in our neighborhood, the house north of St. Mary's High School, Bernice put in a beauty shop. That's when we started going to her. She didn't have a machine like Florence, but we had really curly perms that were tight to our heads. And then mom has a picture of beauty time, Jeanette Holman and the girls on the farm doing their hair.
and then guess what? This is what Barbara did every time she had that perm. She'd go home right away and wash it all out.
She didn't like the perm.
None of us did. It was too. It was like being a black person
And why
with.
did you, who wanted you to have them?
Well, mom, she had us have that every so often.
Oh, that's
And those, curly, tight curly things.
right.
It wasn't in style, let's put it that way.
That's
But we could put that in there.
okay. That's a good one.
I think
The
Barbara was
actually
buying them.
nobody liked the perms. So nobody. Connie,
Yeah,
Barbara,
but
Mary, Joan.
I think she quit doing some of that with the younger ones. I think Connie, she might not have had the curly hair. We quit going to her at one time. I don't know when it was.
Did Barbara, was she successful when she went home and washed it out? Did it get rid of
She
some curl?
really worked hard to get it out. And she was smart. Barbara may not have, whenever I told her things, she'd just go and do whatever she thought she should do.
Okay, Mary Steichen, our housekeeper, was such a wonderful person. We just loved her and she loved us like her own kids. She was a good cook too. She talked about us even when she was failing with Alzheimer's.
And her family just loved that.
And you know what's so funny is I didn't did her, and this won't be for the story because I know the family, they're always so proud because the dad, because she was married to Arnie, right?
I don't even know.
But he make a bunch of money in the oil business? They wouldn't be very happy. Like they like to act like they came from money. And I don't think they like the idea that their grandma was a housekeeper for somebody.
Yeah, but she really loved it. She loved taking care of us.
The
And,
only the only hill in our town was on our street. We roller skated down it, and in the winter we take our sleds down that hill. It was so much fun. Other kids in town did it too. We played
yeah,
on the hills. There was a sunken valley wooded area that was east of the Georges and now Danny and Groff's backyard. That's a side note. The meanies, who were the older neighbor boys who were bullies, harassed us when we played there. One time, David and I were in the hills and got a fire going. We heated up a can of beans without it being opened and it exploded. We made tunnels and bushes so we could walk through, and we really had a lot of fun there. Another neighbor, Bobby Parker, didn't play in the hills, but he stole Barbara's report card and hit her in the head with a play sand.
Yeah. Yeah, that was terrible. That's when Mrs. Steichen was there. And then I got hit by Jeanette Holman with a ball bat.
On purpose?
Yes, I put that in there. But then we were good friends later. And David, I don't know who I was talking to. She wanted to hold my hand while we were seniors, and we were going to go to, how do you say, we were, they had a dance going on at Avalon. That's what we went to, a lot of dances. When we got a little older, when we were in town.
Were you allowed, or did you have any restrictions on how late you could be out, or did grandma and grandpa care at all that you went to the dances?
Well, you know what? I'm trying to think. I can't remember it. I'm sure we had to be home soon, so I can't.
Was it mainly like you, David, and mom, or did Barbara go too?
I can't remember that.
Okay. And maybe I'll probe and ask, see if David remembers or mom. Okay, so the next thing is back to the neighbor kids. We formed clubs with some of the neighbors and friends and had meetings in the basements. There was a president and a secretary. One time the boys tied up Patrick Johnson. I said to them, "Don't do that." I was always the conscience of the group. "You shouldn't do that. You shouldn't do that. That is not nice." David made the clubhouses. He built them in the backyard, and then he tore them down a day or two later. He did a lot of building. Connie Phillips, Ann Zimmerman, Joan Ritz, Mary Barbara, and I were some of the girls in one of the clubs. We had a lot of fun because neighbors would come to our house to play. David and the boys had a lot of toys. Mrs. Hussey, a neighbor lady, was very nice. David shot the granddaughter, Carol Hussey from Minnesota, with a BB gun, but it was probably just practice.
Yeah, right.
David thought that was funny. He remembered that.
Yeah.
That's why I left it in, because David said, "Leave that in. That's good."
Yeah. That's what he thought of it.
Uh-huh.
She had eczema on her hands. And yeah, and that's something that you can't get from touching other people. But then when you see hands that have that kind of scars and stuff like that on, then you don't want to be around those people. Some people are like that.
So it kind of freaks you out.
Yeah.
So Jeanette Homan's grandparents, Peter Homan Sr., lived on the street north of our backyard in Remsen. She played with us when we visited them. She hit me in the head with the bat once. I don't know why she did it, but she did it purposely. She was a good friend of mine later. We made grass houses in the vacant lots by raking up cut grass into outlines to make floor plans. David and Richard made different things. They made a house for us in the backyard, then took it apart and made it into a fort. We had a lot of vacant lots to play on then. We had a lot of fun with just nothing. That's sweet.
Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty good. We figured out the good, so.
That's how me and my brothers were. We always came up with ways to play.
Yeah.
Now we go to the circus. The circus was so much fun. A lion got out and we thought it was walking in front of our basement window. David would say, "Oh, there it goes." That's when we were pretty young. Afterward, I kept dreaming about a lion chasing me. I still had dreams about that lion after we moved to the farm. It was chasing me through an alleyway of a corn crib.
Yeah.
David.
You know where that circus was playing was right on that you know, where mom and dad lived before in town.
Right.
That whole thing was vacant. They didn't have any houses on it. So the circus was on, that's where the circus was. And our house was across from it.
They literally set up the circus there.
Yes.
I wonder if mom could find a newspaper article about that. That's really interesting.
That's what I think. That's what
Okay. Where else
I-
would it be?
Mary
Yeah.
might know more. Better ask her about that.
Okay,
But
I'll have
that's,
mom look into that. That's good.
yeah.
Okay, then we talk about the dentist. On one of the dentist appointments with Dr. Joint and Lamar's, I had braces on my teeth. I got lost. Someone said, you can walk back from wherever I was at the time. I didn't know where I was, and I started crying. Lamar's was too much for me at that age. I was pretty shy. Lamar's was like the big city.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
Mhm.
It was a nice town.
During the Asian epidemic of 1957, I was in 5th grade. Dad moved all of our beds into the living room and set them up like a hospital ward, with mom doing the nursing. I felt like I was going to die. People died from it in Remsen. Mom and dad gave us Dr. Pepper when we had the flu. David and Richard could never drink Dr. Pepper again after that. We all had the measles together and we had the mumps. We always had fun, even though we were sick, and mom always made it fun for us.
Yeah, she did. Wasn't she something?
Great attitude all the time.
Yeah, she did. We really had a good, what'd you call that?
Childhood.
Childhood.
And don't you
Yeah.
think grandma had a big sense of wonder? You know, like she found so many things fascinating and she was very curious.
And what we can put in, we went to Okoboji with mom and I put it in there that we
I
went.
did, but it was in another story. So here, and I've got 10 minutes. I'm going to finish reading this and then let's get on again and because I posted an Okoboji picture. It's in a,
Yeah, it has pictures of us.
did somebody else post that memory? But what would be good is if I read it, you could add to their memories too. I posted the
Yeah.
Okoboji picture. I don't think I did it in yours, did I? Yeah, it's
Mm.
coming up. It's coming up. Okay, never mind. It is.
I didn't see it though in my other stuff.
Okay, hold on. I must have found it because mom had another. I see she printed the wrong thing for you. Bad mom, bad mom. So I'll finish reading what's here. Grade school was only 4 blocks away. Once Guy climbed out of a school window and went home when he was in 1st grade. He just couldn't sit still. We liked to dress up like a girl. He was so cute.
That was Rich.
That was Rich. We like to dress Richard up like a girl. He was so cute.
Yeah.
Barbara and I took ballet classes from a lady in Lamar's when I was 6 years old. Barbara was pretty young too. I had a pink tutu and she did too. We were so cute. The teacher taught us the basic steps and how to ply. We never did get ballet shoes because she never ordered them, but she took the money.
Yeah.
Z. David, Mary, and I took rock and roll dancing lessons at the old barn in Lamar's, Iowa. David was the only one who could dance with me because I was too young. He and I took dance lessons at school too. We learned how to ice skate on the tennis courts when it iced over in the winter. The tennis court was next to the swimming pool. For a couple of summers, we took swimming lessons at the Lamar's pit and rode the bus to get there. It was dirty and had fish in it. That was before the Remsen pool was built in 1956. It was really wonderful with the pool so close to our house. We practically lived there. We had season tickets and could go anytime we wanted to. We swam and had so much fun. To get to the pool, we just walked through John Schneider's pasture with the sheep dung in it. Ha ha, it was a shortcut. Our house and pool were at the edge of town, considered out in the country at the time.
Yeah.
That's crazy when you see how much is built up now.
It really is. It was, but I don't think that their population is high, is it?
Mm-mm. They just spread out, some of the houses over the course of time. Because all
Yeah.
the houses that kind of overlook the pool that are up on the edge now, and some more over by the RU high school that isn't a high school anymore because that closed. Did you know RU's gone?
No.
Yeah, they consolidated with several of the other small towns, and that high school and the grade school got demolished and got moved
Oh,
into lots, and then the high school is empty.
gee.
Yeah, but St. Mary's is still there. Okay, the next is on the TV set in the Okoboji. Our first TV set was black and white and not very big. Dad watched the fights, boxing. That's what he liked. He didn't watch sports otherwise. No one in our family really watched sports then. We watched cartoons when we were younger, and then the Little Rascals, Jack Benny, Ed Sullivan, and a lot of variety shows that were really good.
Okay.
Do you remember that?
I don't remember. I don't remember black and white. I was the one who liked TV a lot.
Did Mom
But
like it or no?
she liked the cowboys and stuff like that. That type of.
One time I locked Mary outside because I didn't want to do something, but somehow she got back in and she was partway through the front door. I was trying to get the door shut and Mary had a broom in her hand and stuck it out in the door really fast. It hit me between the eyes and broke my glasses. Dad fixed them with wires and I had to wear the glasses to school that way for a month. What a bitch.
Yeah,
I'm just
that
kidding.
was terrible. And then you know what I mean? That's hard.
Mary was so strong. That's why I always had to have David help me if I was ever going to beat her up. We never tried
Oh,
though. Even though we fought, we had fun and we fought a lot and it wasn't to kill. I think we could still fight if we had to. I remember different times when some of the kids purposely walked on the kitchen floor after Mary waxed it and it hadn't dried. She just chased after us.
yeah.
She thinks that's funny. All of us in our family went to the George Bittner farm at Lake Okoboji in Worthington, Minnesota on a Sunday. It was either 1957 or 1958. The Bittners had a boat. As soon as we got there, David did a cannonball into the lake and it was only 2 feet deep. He kind of wrecked his back. Almost everyone tried out water skiing. Dad tried too and did really well. We all had our swimsuits on. It was a lot of fun. Another time in 1955, the very dry year, Mom took us to Lake Okoboji. We went to the fun house at Arnold's Park and visited the campsite of the Indian massacre. And can you see the picture here?
Yeah, I can, but
And Mom has the curly hair and you guys don't. You girls don't.
gee, I wonder why. We have regular cuts, don't we?
Mhm. Oh, wait, this is Mom up here. That's Connie. So that
That's
must be natural. That's Connie.
Connie has. Yeah.
But the three of you just have maybe it's because it was so hot, because it was the dry, hot summer. Do you think?
Yeah. But Barbara and I are fine.
Yeah, your hair looks cute. And you got your
How about?
glasses on. I wonder if they're the wire ones.
I don't think so.
Look at Guy, how cute.
We're in jail.
That picture is adorable.
Isn't that something? I don't have that picture in.
You don't?
I don't have that picture in with these.
I'll send it to you. It's
Okay.
really good. The house in town was very well made. I remember how hot it was, and we all had windows open in the house in town in the summertime because we didn't have air conditioning. That house had a lot of windows. We always thought it was big, but it really wasn't. The kitchen had a table height island, large enough for everyone to sit around. The upstairs had 4 bedrooms and a half bath. We had nice Haywood Wakefield furniture, couches, bedroom furniture, and a dining room table and chairs. I really like that house. Our town was so nice to live in. It was like having a huge playground. That's why it was awful to go on the farm. Dad wanted us to learn to work. That was a lot of it. It was just hard to leave such a nice house. And then here's
Yeah, it was
60.
compared to what we went to.
Look at you here.
Yeah.
And then this is
That
really
coat,
good.
I love that coat. And that was Mary's hat.
Yep. Okay,
Yeah.
Joan, let's do this. I will text you what I'm gonna do, because I need to go run. I will text you and let's Zoom again. And what I'm going to do is I'm gonna pull up, Mom has other notes with stories that I found and some that aren't on here. So I'll go back and pull some things that we talked about here, the add-ons, and I'll add them to the story, okay? The things
Okay.
about grandma and being inquisitive, and you added a few other things that I'll add to the story. And then let's go through it again. I'll go through the notes, some of the other notes I have, and we can add some more.
Yeah.
Does that
Okay.
work?
That should work.
Okay. All right. Love you. I'll
Love you
text
too.
you. Bye.
Night. Bye.